I don't know.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. You know what else is good for the Kings business is Bobby Jackson coming back. We talked about that earlier. And obviously, there's been a lot of stories indicating this was going to happen. How much of a difference can it make? It can solidify the coaching staff. But as we said earlier, as you know, you don't need us to tell you, if the Kings don't make the right moves with the roster, it's really not going to matter whether Bobby sits there, or talks to the players, or talks to Doug Christie or not. But it's a nice little feel-good thing for Kings fans going forward.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's good for Bobby, and it's good for the staff.
Right, absolutely. You got to set a foundation, put something in the ground. Bobby Jackson is a baller, and I think he brings a lot what the Kings need right at the moment, which is, in your face, not really going to bite his tongue. We know what he's, as Pete Youngman, the legendary trainer Pete Youngman says, he's going to bring it every single day, not going to cut no corners.
Yeah, he said 2 things I can tell you: they will be prepared and they will not be outworked.
Yeah, and that's what you need on any squad. And Bobby has done that. We know we've seen the glimpses of him coaching in the G League. Coached that team to the playoffs. I believe the number 1 seed, couldn't finish out the championship though. But Bobby is everything that is right for the Kings. Now it's just a piece of the building to continue to keep pushing that building up as tall as you possibly can be.
Yeah. A lot of NBA players and pro athletes think they're playing hard, and they're not all playing hard. Some guys you can see, it just jumps off the screen or jumps at you if you're there at the game. Like, I've never been the biggest Westbrook fan, Russell Westbrook, but he plays hard.
Super hard.
Bobby Jackson also played hard.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting when you look at what happened when Doug Christie took over as coach. DeMar DeRozan showed the video to the team. Look at what this guy did. If anyone does that with Bobby Jackson, they're going to get the same message. And given that Doug felt it was very important, vitally important, that this team has to play hard. You have to play harder than the other team every night. Everyone wants to do that. This team can't afford to not do that. They're not that talented. Bobby will help set that tone in that regard. But again, it all hinges on who the heck's on the roster.
Yeah, it's part of it. I think you got to have the staff, to lead. And then at the same time, you got to have the ball players. The staff, as Jason Kidd infamously said, I'm not playing. Mm-hmm. I'm watching. Mm-hmm. I'm coaching. Mm-hmm. So absolutely, you can only give them everything, everything that you possibly can when it comes to preparation, getting them in the right places, motivation, all these different things. But you're still not, Bobby's no longer playing. Doug Christie is no longer playing. We need some ballers also. We need some Bobby Jacksons on the floor.
Yeah.
And believe me, it starts with having those guys around the facility, being at the G1C, because the one thing you definitely need to do, and this is something I agree with when it comes to Bobby Jackson and Coach Doug Christie, you got to change the narrative. You have to. You got to change the trajectory of your thought, your preparation, where you're going as an organization. And we know Doug Christie a little different. We know Bobby Jackson a little different. Because we've heard them talk, we've seen them play, we know where they're coming from.
It's very interesting that you had Scott Perry talking about accountability, because I didn't know that was such an issue with this team. Maybe it is. Here's the bottom line. The Kings, over the last 2 years, there's been way too much talk about playing hard and not enough actual playing hard.
It's a great point.
Way too much. We got to play hard. We got to out there play hard. And not enough actual playing hard, shutting up and actually playing hard. And Bobby can only help in that regard. When we come back,